Hi there, everybody. Sorry for the technical glitches. Oh my goodness, the world of technology. We're so thankful that you're patient with us, and hopefully everybody can hear and see Ben and I. And I'm going to go ahead and pass the baton over to Ben, and we'll get started with this Facebook Live Meador Tales, our anniversary tales, and share a few stories with you. And hopefully y'all will be sharing in the chat just some questions and having conversation with us today. So Ben, how are you doing over there in College Station? And I'm going to kick it over to you.
I'm doing fine. Thank you, Melinda. And it's really good. Hello, everybody. It's good to have you all with us today. And we're looking forward to visiting with you. And, you know, I'm the chairman and CEO of the company, and Melinda is the president and chief operating officer. We've been around for some 52 years, as many of you know, and we certainly wouldn't be around if we didn't have some great and wonderful clients out there. And some of you who are not our clients, we look forward to doing business with you too in the future. But, you know, over those 52 years, Melinda has been part of the organization for some 33 of the 52 years. And, you know, Melinda, there's a lot of things, a lot of water has gone under the bridge, and you've been involved in a lot of things. I know you've been involved in leadership capacities with the Houston Area Association of Personnel Consultants. On the state level with the state Personnel Association, you've served as president of both of those organizations. And this year you're currently serving as a chair of the Pasadena Chamber of Commerce. It's been a very unusual year, and I know that you've led them very well, just like you did the trade associations. Tell us a little bit about your 33-year career. I know that you started in a certain position, and tell us about how you started and how it's progressed through those 33 years.
Yeah, I would be happy to. You know, you think about your grandparents, and, you know, when you'd hear the stories about your grandparents working for a particular organization for 30, 40, 50 plus years. And, you know, as a young person, you never would think that, oh my goodness, I would actually be somewhere for that long. But, you know, honestly, my story really starts with just, you know, growing up in a family-owned business, and honestly, you know, working temporary and so many other unusual type of positions, you know, typing resumes and things of that nature when you're a teenager. And honestly, I've really never had any intention or motivation to actually work for Meador Staffing full time, and didn't see that organization as, you know, the place where I would end up and start my professional career. So, but never say never. All things said, I, you know, ended up coming to Meador Staffing, and actually started in a position as a staffing consultant in our temporary division, you know, of course, working a desk, and then was able to work alongside Darla Haygood, who has since retired from Meador Staffing and being here for 45 years, and worked with her with an organization called Temporary Systems, which was actually a division of Meador Staffing. And she and I literally traveled the nation, helping other staffing companies get started in the temporary help business, and loved doing that. I also was able to work with Darla for a network that she and Ben and a couple of other partners up in the Northeast and Wisconsin started years ago. At that point in time, it was called Intercity Temporary Services. Of course, now it's called NISA. And Darla was the president of that organization, and I actually worked with her as the executive director. So I think at one point in time, I think she and I literally had 3 positions at the same time here at Meador. But my heart and soul really is in staffing, and I've just thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, and who knew? I really honestly never thought I would ever be sitting in the seat of president, but here I am now, and it has just been just a wonderful journey and a pretty amazing career. So,
well, it has been many and varied, the tasks that you've undertaken throughout those 33 years. And now as president and COO, you know, you've got a number of responsibilities in the company, but what do you consider your greatest priority right now in the function you're in?
Yeah, that's a great question. And of course, you know, you have to look back and reflect a lot, especially the past 6 months, you know, having gone through COVID-19. I don't necessarily think my priorities have shifted. I don't think they change based on maybe what's going on out there in the world or the marketplace. I think for me personally, my greatest priority, and especially being at 33 years in a career and looking to the future of Meador Staffing, is really my greatest priority has always been that I am responsible for leaving this place in a much better place when I pass the baton, to whoever that might be, that would be, not just my successor, but possibly even your successor, Ben. But it's leaving this place better than when I came into it. And I really believe too that as a leader, our greatest responsibility is creating other leaders and being able to bring together teams of people to do pretty amazing things and to do things that maybe the team members never thought or could even imagine that they would do. And so that's what I love to do, is to collaborate, to bring people and teams together to do some pretty amazing things. So that's honestly my greatest priority. Is I am a steward of one of the stewards of Meador Staffing Services, and I have a great responsibility to leave this place better than when I came into the seat here.
That's a good goal for you to have. And Melinda, working in a family business, sometimes it's difficult, and you've done it for a long time. Two questions. What has been your greatest challenge in working in a family business? And also, what are the greatest rewards?
Wow. Okay. I know everybody's probably just at the edge of their seat. Like, is she really going to spill all the dirt? Is she going to really be honest with this question? But I think you have to be. So I would start with probably the greatest challenge working in a family-owned business. It's working with family. It is literally being able to, to be able to compartmentalize things where you have to remember your priority of what is ultimately most important. And I think from the very beginning, and especially the last few years, I think we've talked about that more so now than ever before, is this is a business and it's an amazing place to work. It has been an incredible blessing. It is, what pays the bills for, me and my family. But it is to remember boundaries, that this is business and family is family. And the ultimate priority is family relationships. As I got to be able to do Christmas with you and, and my siblings. And, when I first started, it was you and I. And, since then I've had brothers, I've had sister-in-laws, I've had just a number of family relationships, and just being able to keep family as the top priority. But there are challenges. There are, you and I are both created with we have a lot of the same DNA, definitely, being a father and a daughter, we're a lot alike. We have very similar characteristics, but we're very different in a lot of ways. And, sometimes you think your idea is the best and I think my idea is the best. And so those are some of the challenges is, the position that I walk in, it's being able to, and I definitely, have a faith and a belief in God, and his word says, honor your parents and honor those in authority over you. And so I do remember that. And I do try to honor as best I can, and to honor in public, to never, to say anything bad, and that's what we've seen some family businesses do not so well, is just when there's a lot of fighting and they're doing it in front of, other people. That's who wants to work for a company like that. So those are some of the challenges. Probably the greatest reward, honestly, has been, when you're 6 years old and you're in elementary school and you're seeing your parents start this business and you really don't have a clue, and you become a teenager and you just, you're all into yourself when you're a teenager. But having the opportunity to see your parent and what they created. And so I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but honestly, it has been being able to see what you have done, what you have built, to come alongside, to be a part of that, has been just an incredible reward. And to know and love an industry, called all things staffing that we do, to love it as much as you do. That has probably been my greatest reward.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. And it is difficult working in a family business, but when you come through that front door of the business, it's all about business. And when you go home with your family, it's all about family. And you got to be able to separate the two, and you do it well. And we hope we do too. You mentioned one thing that your ideas and my ideas, and sometimes you don't always agree and I don't always agree. But let me ask you this. Since no one has all their ideas accepted all the time, and I know yours may not be accepted by your leadership team, how do you handle the rejection of your ideas and then collaborate with your other leader associates and arrive at the best consensus?
Wow, that is such a great question. And when you're in leadership within your organization, the company that you work for, and of course, when you're very blessed to participate in leadership positions out there in the community and places like that, you're with some really solid, oh my goodness, some solid people that have so much wisdom and are doing some great things and are super smart. So I think really when everything is said and done, it's not personal. It's not personal. If you really go into a room and it's really a blessing when you are with an exceptional group of people and the team is on the same page as far as the mission and the vision of the organization, then you just have to remind yourself, not all of my ideas are going to be right. And I might have a great idea today, but it might not be the right time to implement that idea. So I think you just have to keep reminding yourself that if somebody disagrees with me, it's not personal. And, I think it's Patrick Lencioni who has a book that talks about teams. And I like working with a team of people where you can come into a room. I'm actually sitting in one of those rooms where we sit at this table quite often. And it's being able to collaborate, and you have to be able to agree and disagree. But when you walk out of the room, we're all one body. So I think to take rejection, it's just to remind yourself at the end of the day, it's really not about you. It's not personal. And it doesn't mean shut yourself down or don't be intimidated. Just keep coming to the table with ideas, and may the best idea win. That's kind of how I look at
Really,
things.
that's really what you have to do. And, one of the things we've always encouraged in our company is that even from the most junior employees, we want them to speak out, speak up, be bold about what they think and what they see. And the only way we can improve is by listening. And leaders need to listen as much as they talk. And that's the way you get the best ideas.
That's right.
So that's a great answer. And, talking about our employees and talking about our people, question, what is your approach to motivating and developing talent within our organization? Because you've got to develop your people and they've got to continue to move forward and improve on what they do. And if we're going to grow as a company, how do you approach that? And how do you motivate them and how do you develop them?
Wow, that's a loaded question. That's a really good one. First and foremost, I think you have to recognize the various generations that you're working with, and that we need all generations, which I think we have 5 different generations now in the workplace. And I think you have to recognize that each one of them, each individual brings a specific gift and talent to the table. I'm one of those believers that you can't motivate somebody. It's not my responsibility to get you all pumped up. And, I can send you to an outside seminar and, like people saying, you get motivated. And, like I hear a John Maxwell, I'm motivated maybe for 24 hours. You have to give people a purpose. You have to give them a purpose as to why you want them why they need to be at your particular organization. So I believe if you give them a purpose, that they are going to rise to the occasion. I do feel it's our responsibility to come alongside employees. In fact, this morning we were actually talking about training and owning up to, maybe where we've fallen short and not being able to give an excuse of, oh, well, COVID was going on, so we didn't have time to do things. I think you need to bring every arsenal, that you have in your tool belt, and you need to pass it on to your employees and give them the resources and the tools that they need so that they can excel and be better at what they're doing. I do, though, call on individuals to, it's your responsibility as well. I can give you all of the tools and the resources you need, but you need to come to the table with an attitude of, wanting to learn and wanting to be the best. So again, if we give them a purpose and a vision and a mission within our organization, that's the starting platform, give them the tools and resources, and then help that individual to believe the best in themselves. And then if they bring the right spirit and the right attitude and the willingness to learn, man, the sky is the limit, especially in the staffing industry. I mean, there is amazing things that people can do. So that's kind of my philosophy and my takeaway on what.
And if you do that well and you develop your people well, they're motivated to really excel. Well, then the company's going to change for the better. So one last question, we'll wrap this up with this question here. How do you think the company will change over the next 2 years, and what will be your role in bringing about that change?
Great question. My role, well, people can kind of see our faces on the screen. Hopefully we look younger than what our age really tells. But, I foresee in the next 2 years that, and I think you and I have been doing this we've just been kind of working our way through it, trying to figure out, these roles of leadership as, you CEO and me president. And so, how I envision and see myself personally in the next 2 years is it is truly being president and COO of the company. And I liken it to what we've learned with EOS, which is a great, business model. And in the EOS system, there's a visionary and there's an integrator. And I think you kind of fall into the role of the visionary. I fall into the role of integrator, and the role of the integrator is that individual that is able to bring all things together. It's to be able to see all departments throughout Meador Staffing, from accounting to our direct hire department to, our numerous offices that we have within the temp division. And it's to be able to bring a cohesive effort amongst all of these people and departments, again, for, one purpose. But the integrator, it's interesting, they describe them as they're really the glue that kind of holds the organization together. And so that's really my calling, is to got us through this, COVID-19, to continue positioning us throughout the year, 2021 and 2022. Staffing industry is changing as we speak. And COVID has caused a lot of changes. So we have to be able to move the needle and continuing to expand the markets that we serve, along with bringing in more technology, but continuing to marry technology with the human element, because the human side of things, I don't care what anybody says, you can never take human out of it. We are created for relationship, and our industry depicts that very thing. We are a people business. And so it's knowing when to do things. It's all about timing and just moving the teams forward. And so I'm actually looking forward to, we're still in 2020, but looking forward to 2021 and 2022 and what staffing industry is going to bring to the table, and how Meador is going to continue really to be one of the best. We are one of the top, in the top 5% of all staffing companies in the nation. And we still want to retain our elite status and be known as it's the experts in what we do. And I know you feel the same way, that we want the younger generation, the 20 somethings, the 30 somethings, we want them to have the same experience that we've had in our career. We want them to experience that same thing. So
we've laid that foundation for them, and we've got wonderful employees. We wouldn't be where we are if we didn't have those people, and they come to work every day with excellence on their mind and doing the job better than they did the day before, and with the right type of leadership and the right type of spirit and the right type of attitude, then companies are blessed to continue on and to make life better for not only for the employees, but certainly for your candidates, for your employer clients. And when you're dealing with people, you have to affect change, and you have to keep up with the trends of the times. We're seeing some good trending out there with the number of orders that we're getting, and that's very encouraging. Right now, the economy seems to be picking up. We anticipate 2021 is going to be a really good year for us. So, Melinda, thank you for visiting with us today on Facebook Live. And it's really good for me to be able to ask you some questions. I've got a lot more, but for sake of time, we're going to go ahead and sign off. So it's been great today. And we certainly have enjoyed all of you guests have visited with us today. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Have
Until next time, y'all have a great day.